The Alpaca and the Sheep, a story about true worth. In a valley shaped like a cradle between two slow-rising hills, there was a meadow where time seemed to move gently. The grass there was always soft beneath the hooves, and the wind carried the scent of clover and clean earth. It was a place where mornings arrived quietly and nights settled in like a warm blanket. Living in this meadow were two neighbors who had known each other nearly all their lives, Alina the alpaca and Benson the sheep. Alina was tall and graceful, with long legs and calm eyes that reflected the sky. Her wool fell in smooth, silky strands that shimmered when the sun rose and glowed pale silver under moonlight. Birds often perched nearby, admiring how gently her fleece moved with the breeze. Benson, by contrast, was round and sturdy, with short legs and a laugh that sounded like a happy hum. His wool was thick, curly, and springy, forming warm spirals that trapped heat and comforted anyone who leaned against him. In winter, snowflakes melted the moment they touched his fleece. Every morning, Alina and Benson walked out together to graze. They shared stories, watched clouds drift, and listened to the songs of crickets at dusk. To anyone watching, they seemed perfectly content. Yet quietly, a small question had taken root between them. Alina sometimes paused by the stream, gazing at her reflection as the water flowed past. She admired how her wool lay so neatly, so softly. "My fleece is delicate and beautiful," she thought. "It's the kind that people treasure." Benson, meanwhile, loved early mornings when the air was cold. He felt proud knowing his wool kept him warm and safe. "This coat protects me no matter the weather," he thought. "Strength matters most." At first, these thoughts stayed private, but little by little they turned into words. One afternoon, as golden sunlight spread across the meadow, Alina spoke aloud. "My wool feels like a gentle hug," she said kindly. "It's perfect for comfort." Benson nodded, then replied, "That's true. But when the cold winds come, comfort alone isn't enough. Warmth is what keeps everyone safe." Neither meant harm, but once words are spoken, they tend to echo. Other animals overheard. A rabbit paused to listen. A deer tilted its head. Soon, whispers floated through the valley. Whose wool was better? As the days passed, the question grew louder. Then, one evening, a fox with sharp eyes and a clever grin wandered into the meadow. He had traveled many valleys and left small troubles behind him wherever he went. He listened quietly as Alina and Benson spoke. "Well," the fox said smoothly, "such fine wool should not go unnoticed. Surely one of you must be greater than the other. The valley deserves to know." Before either could answer, an old tortoise nearby lifted his head. "Comparison rarely leads to peace," he murmured. But the fox only laughed softly and disappeared into the tall grass, leaving his words behind like sparks. Soon after, the animals of the valley announced a great wool festival. They would gather fleece from both alpaca and sheep and create blankets, scarves, coats, and bedding for the coming winter. The festival, they said, would help everyone see which wool was truly best. Alina felt both proud and uneasy. Benson felt the same. They offered their wool generously. Alina imagined shawls so soft they could ease worries. Benson imagined blankets so warm they could chase away fear. The weavers worked carefully. They noticed how Alina's wool flowed easily through their fingers, light and smooth like silk. They also noticed how Benson's wool held firm, thick, and dependable, never losing its shape. As the festival approached, the valley buzzed with excitement. Lanterns were hung, tables were set, the air filled with music and laughter. On the day of the festival, animals gathered from near and far. Children wrapped themselves in Benson's sheep blankets and laughed, feeling safe and warm. Elders draped Alina's alpaca shawls over their shoulders and sighed with relief at the gentle touch. But when it came time to choose which wool was best, the valley grew quiet. A bear said, "I need warmth." A bird said, "I need lightness." A mouse said, "I need both." No one could agree. At last, a wise owl descended from her perch. Her feathers were gray with age, and her eyes held years of understanding. "Wool is like wisdom," she said softly. "It serves different needs. Strength without softness can be harsh. Softness without strength cannot endure. True value lives in balance." Alina lowered her head, feeling something shift inside her. She looked at Benson, not as a rival, but as a companion. "I see now," she said gently. "My wool brings comfort, but yours brings protection." Benson smiled, and together they bring peace. The fox, watching from the edge, scoffed and slipped away, disappointed that no argument remained. That winter arrived early and fierce. Snow fell thick and heavy. Winds howled through the hills, but the valley was ready. Blankets woven with both soft alpaca fleece and sturdy sheep's wool kept homes warm. Coats lined with both materials lasted through storm after storm. No one worried about which wool mattered more. At night, Alina and Benson rested side by side beneath the stars, listening to the quiet valley breathe. They no longer compared. They belonged. And wrapped in wool, wisdom, and understanding, the valley slept peacefully. The moral of the story: true worth is not found in comparison, but in purpose. Different strengths serve different needs, and each has value. When we honor differences instead of competing, everyone is comforted.